Hey gang. So I have vaginismus, and a lot of you may have never heard of that, but you might also have it because it's very common. Vaginismus is when your vagina or your yoni, whatever you want to call it, like under any other circumstances, you go through life just fine. But your vagina will tighten up, your canal will tighten up, not the vulva or labia and stuff, like the canal will tighten up and it won't allow for penetration. Vaginismus can be both physical and psychological. It can come from a fear of pain, it can come from traumatic events, it can come from surgery, it can come from a lot of things. Vaginismus, in some circumstances, is also curable. It's just a lot of the stuff that you'll find about vaginismus in general information speaking is very much geared towards relationship hierarchies and focusing on the male partner aspect of sex versus focusing on the person who has vaginismus and healing. And any talk of healing is always about a fulfilling sex life and making your partner happy and stuff like that. It's not about you or whatever else vaginismus might come with. Because for me, it's not just about my partner, it's also about not being able to insert medical instruments. My own personal experience, me talking here, I insert menstrual hygiene products normally. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with my own fingers or anything like that. It's an issue when my partner does something. And it's also an issue with medical instruments. I don't have any physical trauma down there. It could be psychological. I was raised in a place that was very sexually conservative. I'm from North Louisiana. And maybe, like, I don't feel like that stuff really bothered me, to be honest with you. I think that as I went through life as an adult, and a lot of the public priority of sexuality was on like cisgender male penis pleasure and like seeing how people with vagina and a vulva and yoni or whatever you want to call it are treated, that's probably what gave me vaginismus. And even as I go through this journey of trying to heal whatever's going on down there, I run into a lot of people, especially other people with vagina and vulva, doing the relationship hierarchy, the patriarchy, the capitalism of you won't have a fulfilling relationship if you don't have sex, and you have to have sex this kind of way. I have a lot of reason to believe that it's way more anything that I have absorbed as an adult than anything I had to deal with as a teenager that has led me to this. Because like because I can insert in pads and tampons, because I can insert in menstrual hygiene products or body cleansing hygiene products, because it is a cleaning, let's use adult terms here. I don't anticipate pain with those things. Those things aren't going to harm me. I know that I am inserting something in my body that's going to help me. That being said, I don't use tampons anymore. Look into why tampons actually aren't good for you. I use menstrual discs. The social stuff that I came up with wasn't like, yeah, it was a lot of shame, and they were having that whole like teach abstinence argument, which they're still having now, which is ridiculous. Because there is something to be gained from the people who have the ability to give birth to be more ignorant about their bodies. So our patriarchal society can use and abuse us, basically. And even though I don't feel that way with my partner, I am still having the stress, and I think it could be more of a response to like pain or anticipated pain, because before my first physical therapist and my first sex therapist, I was having a little bit of difficulty, but I was way more inclined to be like, well, let's do other stuff. Like, we don't have to do this. I just want to try. But like, as like my first sex therapist started imposing the relationship hierarchies that I really let get into my head. And my first physical therapist was also not gentle with the internal examination. It just, like, everything just came related to pain. So, like, yeah, there's definitely something psychological to it, even though, like, to a degree, pain is to be expected. Um, but, like, to a degree, pain is to be expected because I know I have an issue. Normally, pain is not to be expected. And really, telling people with a vagina and vulva that pain is to be expected gives them vaginismus. Like, and also, when I really sit down and, like, peel back the onion layers, I think about all of the stuff that I saw and a lot of the smut that I read and stuff like that, of, like, painful sex being normalized among us common folk, of, like, especially the first time, when really pain shouldn't be expected. So it's, like, a lot for me to psychologically unpack. And any personal advice that I've received from, like, physical therapists is, like, or the lovely people over at Planned Parenthood, has been like, pain is not to be expected. If you want to have sex like this is the sex life that you should have. Whereas people who are just not with it, like my first sex therapist and my first physical therapist that promote a relationship hierarchy, it's like, I just need to clear any inkling of that out of my life. And finding general advice on how to deal with anything with vaginismus that is gender inclusive and not promoting relationship hierarchy and patriarchy is difficult. And I just want to show my face and be really out here about this issue because it's common. Vaginismus is very common. It's, like I said earlier, the reasons why it's so common, and really just this fucked up piece of shit society that people keep saying that we have all these freedoms in. Well, people with vaginas and vulvas don't have the freedom to just enjoy sex. So that's one freedom that we don't have. And I know that this isn't just an American, North American, United States of America problem. There are plenty of other cultures and other countries that really downplay the importance of people with vagina and vulva, regardless of their gender identity, being able to enjoy sex, being able to enjoy sex without a penis needing to be in mind, being able to enjoy sex without penetration being in mind, and stuff like that. Because there are plenty of different ways to have sex. There's also outer course. There's plenty of stuff. So just shout out to all the other people with vaginismus. And I hope we can all come out on the other side of this, whichever way, whatever that looks like for any of us.